Hi, my name's Lexy, and my speech is about my sister Katie and her friend Jessica's car accident. It was at the end of their senior year, and they were coming home from Jonesboro when an 18-wheeler was coming head-on at them around a curve, and Jessica swerved to try and miss the 18-wheeler, and when she did, she overcorrected, and they rolled twice on pavement, went airborne, snapped a telephone pole in half, and then landed and rolled 2 more times. Jessica ended up having to pull my sister out of the car because Katie couldn't walk. A teacher from Viola had seen the accident, and she stopped to see if everything was okay, and she ended up calling my mom to tell her about the accident. And I'll never forget that morning because I answered the phone when the teacher called to tell us what had happened. And I remember running back to the room my mom was in and handing her the phone and just thinking, oh my gosh, something has happened and it is not good. And after I gave my mom the phone, I ran into the kitchen and picked up the other line to hear the teacher tell my mom that everything was okay and not to worry, but my sister had been in a really bad car accident. At that time, I hung up the phone and went and grabbed my cell phone and called my dad and told him what happened. And I swear, once I hung up the phone, he was walking through the front door asking thousands of questions, where Katie was, what happened, and if she was okay. And the teacher had told my mom that they ended up air evacuating my sister to the hospital in Springfield. So then we all jumped in the car, and that's the fastest trip I have ever been on to Springfield. And we went to the hospital, and my sister was in the ICU, and we had to wait about an hour before we could see her because she was getting x-rays and all these different things done. And just in that midst, I knew that I could have lost my sister forever, and I know that my parents were worried sick because they didn't know what happened, and they didn't have any details or anything. And I just remember walking into the hospital room, seeing my sister laying there in a neck brace, and she was just bawling, telling my parents that she was so sorry and everything, and they just kept telling her that it was okay and it wasn't her fault and that everything was going to be okay. And it was just a really scary moment. And then the doctor came in and told us that her x-rays came back good and she didn't break her back or her neck, and she was just healthy. And it was a really scary moment because we didn't know, what had happened or anything, because we didn't really get any details before we got to the hospital. But as my mom was talking to the doctor told her that the air evac people said that my sister was lucky to have survived because if her seat wouldn't have been reclined, it would have snapped her neck in half and killed her. And in conclusion to this speech, I've just really learned that family is very important, and no matter what happens or where we go in life, our family is always going to be there for us, and they're always going to love us and support us and care for us. And we should just take every day and value it because we never know when it could be our last. And I just am so thankful that my sister lived and came out good and everything was fine, because we never know when our last day will be, and I never knew if I was going to get to say goodbye or not. So overall, this experience in my life has taught me to cherish family and love the ones you're with and around, because you never ever know when it could be their last day.